Hello, how are we? How have you been? Have you had a good day today? Or maybe a stressful day? It's probably been hard. Life just hits you in different areas of your life and you're quite confused at times in beginnings and endings. I'm genuinely wondering how you are today. Sometimes in life we are hit with certain things where we can't really control the situations around us. And you know what? That's okay. Not being able to control those situations gives you a sort of agency to learn to control yourself. We will be tested. And when we're tested in hard times, it's always back onto us to say to ourselves, right, how can I handle this situation the best way that I can handle it while being peaceful at the same time? Well, today, welcome back to the third episode of Chill Talk series. This is me again, and we're going to be talking about patience. As I always love to say, and what people have told me my entire life, is that patience is an art to be mastered. It isn't something that comes to you. It's not something that just pops up in the blue and you're able to do it. When we are tested in certain situations, patience is one of the options that we take. Now, in my personal experience through life, it has always had my back. It has taken me out of certain situations that could damage me, either physically or mentally. Especially if I'm working in the workplace. That's a very stressful situation, or even if you have kids as well. You learn over time that being the aggressor in a certain situation, or being pissed off, or losing the patience that you internally have, affects you in a number of ways. We have that voice in our heads that are like, no, be patient, be patient. The reason why it's there is because it's there to help us. Breathing comes hand in hand with patience. You can't have patience without breathing at the same time. It is the physical thing we do, really, to activate the patience in us. When we're trying to be patient, we're trying to breathe. But if our mindset is all over the place, and our situation affects us in a number of ways where your chemicals in your brain are bouncing left, right, and center, and you can't think, and you're feeling nervous, you're getting butterflies, you're not able to breathe, the first thing you do in every situation is you step away from the situation. You go outside, you take a breath of fresh air, count back from 10, and breathe deep breaths, and relax yourself out of the situation. Patience comes with hard work. Now, I won't say that patience is easy to do. It isn't. In every situation we are in, becoming a better person, in my opinion, is the best thing that you can do. Becoming the better man, the better woman, or, the better friend, or, the better person in a situation, but not for the other person that you've probably had an argument with, or fallen out with, or maybe a boss, had a confrontation there. You don't do it for them, you do it for yourself. In every situation, opinions arise. He has an opinion, you have an opinion. You may know you're right, you may feel like you're right, but you may be wrong, in fact. He might be wrong, in fact. But what tends to happen in those situations is the objective of the argument is not to see who is right and wrong. It is a one-sided thing between two people. The argument becomes, I'm right and you're wrong, in every situation. It always switches to that. And we can deny it as much as we can, but that's exactly what happens in situations. It's I'm right, you're wrong, because I want to be the better person and look better in front of people. What I usually do in those situations is, if I know I'm wrong, I will step back and I will say, you know what, I'm wrong, and I will admit it. And if it makes them feel good, and it may make me a little angry to admit it, at the end of the day I breathe, I think of my patience, And I'm like, okay, he's right. Let him feel that he is right. He may be right, he may be wrong. But I've stepped away from a situation that has caused me less grief, less mental stress, agony, or in future build-up of a lot of anger. Because I've had the patience to identify the situation and to see that this is not an argument or a debate over the topic that we're arguing over. It's only to see who is right and wrong. I just let people believe, okay, you're right, no problem, I walk away. Takes a lot of patience, a lot of hard work, obviously. But that has helped me so much in my life that it has just brought me to be a better person. I am able to wake up and hear the birds in the morning, listen to some music, have a coffee, and be at peace. I'm able to sleep like a baby at night. And just by doing that, I'm happy. And if I ask you the question, what is the one thing that we truly want in life? It's joy and happiness. Well, that's two things, but it correlates the same. Happiness. That is a tool that you can have, is to be patient, to have an understanding of things, to step back and say, you know what, this argument is not worth it. I'm going to step back from this negative situation because I want to have a better positive impact on someone's life, and I want a positive impact in my life. You're the one who controls that. Whether you feel like life hits you a certain way continuously, life's hitting me, it's not. Life is happening for you. You are the determining one that can steer the boat on the wide, vast ocean that we call life. But it's your boat, and you need to steer it in a way to where you can find the absolute peace within yourself and say, you know what, I'm forgetting about this situation, I'm going to move on, I won't live in the past, and I will be patient. Patience gives you that, gives you the key to happiness. It avoids situations, and all in all, you don't have to worry about a thing that is hard like a job, including the people there, which is another stress on top of you having the job as the stress, but also the people as well, that also makes more stress. Having that stress pushed onto you continuously, you learn, okay, I don't have that anymore because I'm patient, and I see why people do things. They do it because they want to feel great, or they want to, be the better person in the situation. Honestly, the way you are right now is completely perfect, but imperfect at the same time, but perfectly imperfect. And when people accept that about themselves and accept their genuine selves, then they have no need for judgment, no need for arguments, no need for stress. Patience is the key to finding those things. And when you are comfortable within yourself because you have patience, you'll see things and you'll be like, no problem. Alright, is that so? I always say that to myself. When things happen in my life, I look at it and I'm like, oh, is that so? And I move on. And I let the water just run from the tap. I don't interfere with the water. If it comes out muddy a little bit some days, or if it's clear water some days, I just let the water run. And that's how I see things. Just let it run as it is. Life can be very difficult at times. I know this personally. Some of you may know this about me, some of you may not. But I am a scaffolder. I've been doing scaffolding for quite a while now. It is rated one of the hardest jobs in the world, especially for a labouring job. But what I've learned to do throughout my job is that when people, are giving me bad mouth, or when we're working hard and people are screaming and yelling, I learned to have my patience at a high level. I learned to make it a priority that I am patient. Because it gives me peace. Because I can go home every time I come home from work. I can go to my family and I can be a proper father. I can have a calmness about myself. I can relax. Because I refuse to identify with my work. I don't identify with the work I do. I never use it as I am better than you, or you're not as good as me because I do a harder job, or you get paid more than me, I get paid more than you, and this, that, and the other. I never do that. I would never identify with what I do for a living. But what I've learned to do is that over time, of small practices of being patient, that over time you will have a strong mind. And as in strong mind, I mean your mind is so patient over situations that now you view them, over the years of you doing it, you view them as little specks of dust that come into your life. You don't view them as a massive train going to hit you, and you got to do everything you've got to do to push that train out the way. You view the train as a little flea that jumps on your skin. And you're like, oh, and then you just flick it away. But in every situation, there's levels to things. Practice makes perfect, and I believe that through my heart that is a good thing. Practice makes perfect. But I urge you, in your life, to practice being patient. I promise you, the more that you practice being patient, the more that your mind will become strong. Have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you a very, very wonderful day. Alright, take care. Love you.